Usually when you and I think of dhikr, we think of somebody sitting and doing the adhkar, they're reciting either tasbih or they're reciting Quran and they're praying. They're engaged in some kind of worship. And this is the context in which you and I think about dhikr. And we're going to broaden our horizon in this session. We're going to think about dhikr in much more broader terms as inspired by these ayat of the Quran. This is now going to start with the story of Sulaiman alayhi salam, which, by the way, interestingly enough, comes right after the following ayah. Kitabun anzalnahu ilayka mubarakun liyadabbaru ayatihi. A book that we have sent down to you that is full of continual and increasing blessings. It keeps on giving you more and more and more and more. The idea of the kitab being mubarak is that when we recite the Quran and ponder over the Quran, it is actually going to give us more benefits and it will open up more doors of its wisdom than it did the last time you read it. Hence, لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ, so they continually reflect and ponder deeply into its ayat. In other words, the process of reflecting on the Quran will never come to an end until the Day of Judgment. Nobody will come along and say, I have extracted everything there was to be extracted from the Quran. That is not going to happen. Because it is by definition Mubarak. It continues to give more and more and more than what is expected. So there is no such thing as underestimating the Quran. There's never going to be a point in my life where I'll say, that surah, I already studied it. I'm already done with that ayah. I already finished this, this juz or this section or this story in the Quran. I already know everything there is to know about it. Never going to happen. There are always going to be things that you and I are going to discover about this book. And this is the humility you and I have to have towards the Quran. This is يَعْلُو وَلَا يُعْلَى عَلَيْهِ. It supersedes, it's not superseded upon. It imposes, it's not imposed upon. And we have to bring, you have to bring that attitude to the Quran. It's not like any other book. You can master other books. You can master other books. You can't master the Quran. The Quran masters you. You don't master the Quran. You humble yourself and I humble myself before Allah.